welcome to my channel. Thank you guys for tuning in and welcome to another video in the original series. As the title states, we're going to be reviewing the Seiko Generation 2 Sumo or SBDC033, and this is the Japanese J version. I don't know if there is a K version, but that's what the model number is. So I'd like to say that, well, most of my videos that are going to be coming out now, they are going to be part of the original series. So I'll be reviewing mainly my Seiko collection. I do have a decent size, so it's worth reviewing them, going through them, sharing my thoughts on them, because I do sort of rotate my collection, so I will get rid of some pieces, and it'll be interesting to review them and just inform the public about them. Regarding the homages, the Chinese market, I've took a little pause on that because I haven't seen anything which has really caught my eye, which is anything substantial. So without further ado, let's get started and let me introduce you to the Seiko Sumo. Well, that's the nickname because it's a fatty. So let's start off with some quick specifications and measurements. So this watch, full stainless steel bracelet case. It's got Seiko's, now let me try and say this word properly, proprietary glass and movement, which is hardlex movement. I think you've got an aluminium bezel insert, and the movement is a 6R15 movement. Now the 6R15 movement, it's not necessarily a new movement. It's been around since about 2005. The 4R movements are actually newer, which came in around 2011. However, it's a better movement due to it having an additional 10 hours power reserve, and the material used on the actual spring or the coil is different, which enables the movement to provide more, how can I say, more consistent and better regulated power. So, by the way, I just want to apologize if you can hear any slight rustling on the mic. It's because I'm doing this video through headphones. Because where I am, it echoes quite a lot. So, and I have a beard, so maybe the mic's rustling around in there. So as I was talking about measurements, yes, so it's quite a big watch, and if you've seen my previous videos, I have compared this to the Proxima Marine Master Homage. So specs, 44.5 in diameter, the thickness is roughly 13.5 to 13.7, and then you've got a lug-to-lug of around 52 with a weight of approximately 170 to 172, give or take a gram or two, and your bracelet, your lug width is 20 mil, which is kind of on the small side considering it's a big watch, but you find this is common among some bigger watches, and it would really benefit from a 22 mil bracelet, but it's alright how it is. So let's go over, let's have a closer look at the watch, shall we? Let's have a look at the dial. And you can see, if we look at the indices first, they are applied lumed indices, nice and big. The circular indices are somewhat remnant of the Marine Master dials. And you see they've got this silver lining around the edge, nice finish on them. You've got a date window, and then you've also got the second hand, which is quite similar to the Marine Master, but your hour hand, it's like a broadsword style, and with a longsword style hour hand. Really good finish. Nothing, you can't see any blemishes or any burr or anything like that on the actual hands. On the dial, you've got the logo on the top, and let's just open this. You've got the prospects. Let's unscrew this. Yeah. Got the Prospects X automatic divers 200 meters and Japan 6R15 at the bottom. So this is made in Japan. Coming onto the crown, you do have a signed crown, screw down, and you've got this lovely, lovely crown with a nice grip, nice thick grip. Having a chunky crown does help. No crown guards on the case. And we've got the bezel with large numbers around the side. Standard chapter ring, nothing special about that. One thing that did stand out for me on the Sumo was very decent finishing, really nice superior finishing on there. You can see a few marks because this is a second-hand model. And you've got this lovely, well, is it chamfered? But where you've got this beautifully machined case. So you can see there's a very, very fine brushing down the line of the body there, and high polish top and bottom. Looking at it head on, straight on, you can see is a really well machined case. And overall, I do think this is a really nice premium looking watch. And something I didn't know, I posted this on Facebook and somebody called it a camel toe Seiko. I burst out laughing, and it took me a while to figure out why. I think it's because of these edges. I think it's well machined. It's a nice little touch here. There it comes down. So you got a difference between the brushed and the high polish. But I will say on that note, due to that, these edges here that are exposed, they are kind of sharp. They are edgy. On the case, you've also got drilled lugs, which makes it easier changing bracelets. Solid steel case back with all the usual information. Whereas your turtles and samurais, they've got laser engraving. This is actually been engraved, and you got a lasered serial number. Bracelet's pretty solid, as you can see. Solid end links, curved end links, and a really nice quality Seiko bracelet with just the usual diver's extension, because it is a ISO certified diver, hence the name Prospects. Can never get these open. Come on. There we go. Seiko stamped clasp. I mean, standard clasp. Even though these are stamped, they are pretty good quality. Then you've got your micro extensions. Yeah, so overall, decent quality. So from the top, you know, it's everything that you expect from Seiko. Everything that you expect. However, this is where I start my rant. I was, you know, before I had it, before I purchased this, you know, I was looking forward to a Sumo, hoping wanting to get a Sumo, because I've got a lot of like entry-level divers, and I thought, you know, I really want to start exploring the mid-range and see what they've got to offer. Now, you know, looking at how it's made, and the little, you know, little extras you get with it, I'd say it's a mid-range movement, but I struggle to call it a mid-range. I really do struggle. because I don't think, put it this way, I was very underwhelmed when I got the watch. It's a lovely watch, and I'm not knocking that. But compared to your 4R36s, or what is known as a entry level diver, the mid range doesn't offer too much. And I think this is a little problem with Seikos, where if you do look across the mid range, and depending on when this video comes out, minus the really new stuff like the SBDCs, the 62 mass reissues, and the Marine Master 200s, take them aside, and the third generation Sumo. If we talk about this range, there's not much of a difference, and I think partly is because your entry level is so good. It's great value for money. So let's just show you as an example. This is what will be known as an entry level, right? Put aside the special edition. Now, if I'm trying to convince you that that's an entry level and that's a mid-level, mid-range, what are you really getting? You're getting a signed crown, okay. You're not getting anything in terms of better materials or more luxurious materials. You're getting same finishing on the bracelets. You're not getting anything. And like I said, the movement is a 6R15. Really and truly, you're just getting 10 hours extra. And you're not going to really notice how the accuracy plans out, because they will be both. The accuracy is the same. So this is my issue with the actual watch. And that's why I am reluctant to call it a mid-range, because I don't see what is so special and what it offers over that, And I think Seiko do a lot of marketing, and especially the times and how they release their watches to confuse just your normal watch enthusiast. Yeah. So if you got the, as they call, entry-level prospects models, there's nothing that you're missing out on. And for me, the thing with Seiko was when I actually got my first entry-level diver and I compared it to like my Seiko 5 Autos, I was impressed. I thought, you can see, yeah, this is a watch. But from that to mid, nothing really that special, to be honest. So that's a little mini rant there. Another thing which it was pointed out to me by a friend of mine. Ever since he pointed it out, I can't unsee it. If you just look at the font, it's a bit childish. It's like if you look at it, it's like a cartoony font. Can't really explain. So when you do look at it, and now that he's told me, I can't unsee that. So I've been on like some aftermarket websites, and you can get a Marine Master style, or like a SKX style font, and in the pictures it does look miles better. I must say it does look miles better, but again, that's purely subjective, because there's a lot of people out there that prefer this this kind of bezel. I know the Gen 3, the font is slightly slimmer. It's the same style, which does look good, and the hands are slightly different. I actually like the hands. I think this little chevron here makes it different. Yeah, good weight and feel overall. It is. And I think one of the my favorite thing about this watch, and which is a feature for me, is the way the bezel sits. I actually love that, and this reminds me from this angle. I don't know if anybody does know the old school Seiko Caesars, the kinetics with this massive like horseshoe on top. But I do love the way the bezel sits. It's a standard Seiko bezel. It does move quite nice. It does line up pretty decent. Yeah, it does line up pretty decently. Lovely watch. Let's show you how it wears on the wrist. And even though it is, nearly 45 mil, and I've got 6.5-inch wrist, I don't really mind wearing bigger watches, because I think you can pull them off. I mean, right now, because I haven't got like a long sleeve on, it might look a bit silly. But really and truly, what you want to measure it by, if there's overhang, that's when they do look really out of place. But in terms of fit, It's pretty decent. You know, like, don't get me wrong with what I said. So if you didn't have the entry levels and this was your first watch that you bought, you would be over the moon. You'd love it. It'd probably be the best thing, you know, for you. And it does. You know, I think the price, I'm not too sure. I think they were around, I don't know. I think if they were on the £700 mark, and you already got entry levels, you can't justify the extra, you know, £200-300, whatever it is. You know, on the second-hand market, they're around the 250 to 3 something mark, in decent condition. And again, that is, I suppose, that is worth it. But yeah, going back to the point, if this is, you haven't had your entry level like the turtles and samurais, then this is amazing. But if you've got those, you know, unless for personal taste you want something different, but if you wanted to upgrade, it's not much of an upgrade, I'll be honest with you. It isn't. Obviously the subjective cases change. There's a lot of different cases on the 4R or the entry level range. So let's show you a lume shot, and that is one of my favorite things about this watch also. Just have a look at that. Really bright, crisp lume. And you can see the second hand, minute, hour. You do have to love that lume, yeah. And you know, that is something Seiko smash out the park all day. Just look how visible everything is. And have a look at this as a bonus, because I've got my watch box here. So have a look at all that lume. Swear, this is, I mean, this watch hobby really and truly, for all those, you know, adults out there, it just brings a child out in you, really, doesn't it? So that's that. I hope you enjoyed this little review on the Seiko Sumo. Like I said, you know, with this original series, there's plenty of reviews out there that are, you know, brilliant. I can't really touch them, but I think for me, while I review them, I like to add my own little opinion and my thoughts on it. So I hope you find that beneficial. And just on that, I hope you are enjoying the originals. I do want to go through my current collection and do it a watch at a time. And I am taking a pause from the homage, the Chinese specials, because at the moment, like I said, I've not seen anything special, anything substantial for me. Really and truly, there's two clear-cut leagues. From what I've seen, there's just two leagues. So you've got everything Pagani grade and below, whether it's Parnis, you know, all that. There's just slightly differences, but you know, you can bunch them together. Nothing really substantially different. And then you've got your, I'd say, if I were to put it in terms of money, so anything over about £100, dollars. Then you've got your Steel Dive, Haim Dallas, San Martin. Certain San Martin models are going a bit higher, but then you've got that quality, which is more or less the same, with subtle differences. And those are the two clear-cut lines in quality for me. So until I see something that I really want or really grabs my attention, that's something different, then I'd have a look at that. So anyway, thank you for watching. Subscribe, like, and please put some comments in there. Thank you, and see you very soon.